loan is less than $10,000, then no tax update. Capital gains only come into play if it is a capital asset. One Bitcoin is worth $39,984.70 in US dollars. Ask Roger. Hey guys, I'm Roger Herring. I'm the Investor's Accountant, and thank you for coming by our YouTube channel. Before you leave today, be sure you hit subscribe and click the bell. That way you won't miss any of our free educational videos. Hey everyone, I'm Roger Herring. I am the Investor's Accountant, and hey, welcome to another edition of Ask Roger. This is where you get to ask me a question about real estate taxes, real estate tax strategy, wealth strategy, growing wealth in a tax-free environment. You name it, we talk about it here. Today, I want to talk about asset protection. So instead of telling you about a question I was asked, I want to tell you about a question that I asked someone else. So I'm onboarding a brand new client. So the client, we're looking at his structure. He's got a great asset protection set up in place for his LLCs, for his wealth. And I looked at him and I said, "You've done a real good job. But now I got a question for you." And he said, "What's that?" I said, "What happens if you get sued personally?" And to quote Jeff Foxworthy, he looked at me like a monkey doing a math problem. He had never thought about that. He was concentrating so much on protecting himself from all the people coming in from the outside attacking his LLCs. He never thought about what happens if somebody attacks him. So let's go to the whiteboard and we'll just kind of draw all this out. Give me a moment to get over to where I can share content. And 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's go over here and let's just move that off the screen so we can draw a little bit. Here we go. Now, in most cases, what you got is here's you. And down below, you got a couple of LLCs. This is LLC 1. This is LLC 2. And each of these has some sub LLCs. We call them children. And this is where all of your assets are. Okay. So if we have a lawsuit and we get attacked down here in one of the child LLCs, first we've got insurance that they've got to get through. Then they've got to get through the LLC veil that's right here. And then they got to get through this LLC. And if they eventually get up to you as an individual, we've got umbrella insurance to protect us. That's right. If you're not carrying an umbrella policy of at least $1 million, you're wrong. If you have significant assets, well, seek competent professional advice on how much you ought to have. But the umbrella policy is key. Oh, and please read it. Not all umbrellas are created equal. You don't want to have to make a claim and find out you're not covered. All right. So this is what normally happens. But what happens if that lawsuit is not down here? What if it's right here, coming straight at me? I'm in a car accident and I get sued personally. Now what happens? Well, Roger, I've read books and they tell me that the only thing they can get is a charging order. In some states, true, but not in all. A famous real estate investor wrote about the charging order, and people seem to think that that applies to all 50 states. It does not. There are more that do not have a charging order than do. So what is a charging order? It's a court order that allows whoever won the order to take your distributions. So that gives them the right not to control your LLC, but to take your distributions. Okay. Most states, that doesn't happen. In most states, what we have is called foreclosure. I'm in Georgia. Georgia is a foreclosure state as it comes to limited liability companies. That means they can take a formal court proceeding, foreclose my interest in the LLC, and take the assets inside of it and liquidate them. Not a good idea. So how do we protect ourselves? Well, let me show you the idea of something called a COPE. All right. So here we go. COPE stands for Charging Order Protection Entity. So let's get our little drawing again. Here's you. Here's LLC 1. Here's LLC 2. Here's the child LLCs that have all the assets in them. All right. And this runs up here to me in the first example. Okay. Well, what if instead of running everything to me, we put another LLC right here? Well, Roger, but I don't live in a charging order state. What we're going to form is a foreign LLC. Now, foreign means it was established in another state. If it was out of the country, it would be called alien, just, little nomenclature there. But this is going to be what we call the COPE, because we're going to form this LLC, this COPE, in a state like Wyoming, where there is charging order protection for limited liability companies. So we're going to go outside of Georgia or outside of the state that you're in, and we're going to form it here. So now, if I am sued here, they get through me, they get to this COPE, they got a barrier, and now all they can get is a charging order. That's it. So let's just slide back and let me turn off the screen share. Hey, a COPE is a very powerful strategy for protecting from personal liability. Your LLCs protect from business liability coming in from the outside. But if you're sued personally, you got to have some kind of protection to watch your reverse. Let's just put it that way. So we use the COPE. Now, do we always use a COPE? No, we don't always use a COPE. We're only talking when significant assets are in play. So if you've only got $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of equity, we don't mess with the COPE. But you got $500,000, $1 million, 2 million plus, you better believe we're going to use the charging order protective entity, because we do not want anyone getting their hands on our wealth. It's been great to be with you today, guys. Hey, if you think you're in need of a COPE, I'll be happy to consult with you. And we don't do them personally, but I can refer you to the law firm that are experts at this. Till the next time, Roger out.